y'all doing today? Y'all seen my video where I did a product review on this can opener. It's wonderful. 2 thumbs up, Toucan, as seen on TV can opener. Well, in this video, I'm going to hack it. I'm going to get rid of the batteries. I'm going to wire it. Got this for $2.75 at the thrift store today. And it goes from 1.5 volts all the way up to 12. Alright, I've tested this with my multimeter and it does work. And what I've got here from my Sony Handycam that I never used ever, I've got a couple of these because I've had a couple Sony Handycams, is I have a female and a male USB. And that is what I'm going to use for my connector. I'm going to use female to come through the case, like, you know, mount this inside. Somehow I'm going to mount that inside so it comes through the case. So all I have to do is plug that in. The other end, the male end, is going to be connected to this power adapter. I'll show you how I'm going to do this in this video. Stay tuned, folks. This is going to be interesting. And actually, this is going to act like a throttle. If I can turn it up. I don't want to blow my device up, so I'm going to have to be careful about how much juice I put to it, but I can at least double the juice that I give it. Instead of it having 1.5 volts, I can give it 3 volts and make it go twice as fast. I can open cans quicker than anybody. Yay! Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a nice length of, cut my USB cord right in half. Scissors work fine. Cut that in half. The other end, I don't need to worry about that right now. Put it to the side. What I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to strip this so I can get into these wires and decide which 2 I'm going to use. Probably the 2 that are farthest away inside of here. I'll be right back. Stripping wires is short work with a lighter. All you have to do is just turn your ceiling fan off first. Hang on. You turn your ceiling fan off so it doesn't blow your lighter. And you just heat that outer stuff up, and don't get it too hot, but just get it hot enough to where you can just peel that shit off. Peel that shit off, and then you got your wires exposed in here. Alright. What you've got is you got the outer shell, you got the outer wire, which is a shield, I guess. This is a shield. This is some crap in here. I don't know. Anyhow, let's get into these wires. There's a shield around here. It's shielded, I guess, for some reason. So we'll get into that. We'll pull that aluminum off, and that will expose 4 wires. And this one I'm going to use red and black. Alrighty? Red and black. Let's use red and black. Let's strip this back a little bit better so we can get to it a little easier. Alright, seeing as we're only going to use our red and black, take the rest of them and just cut them off. Get those out of your way. Now, we've got our red and our black separated from the rest of it. Let's get into our Toucan can opener by removing some screws, and let's tie into the wiring that's inside. Let's take a look in there. Taking out 5 Phillips head screws from here. There was 1 down here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. What I plan on doing is wiring this in such a way that I can still use batteries if I want to, and I can plug it in if I want to. So I'm going to make it versatile. Okay, folks, there's a 6th screw when you turn it over, right near this jar opener thing, or can opener, or whatever. There's a 6th screw on the back of there, so make sure you get that. Now it's starting to come loose. Let's see how. Something seems to still be holding it together. Something's holding her together. Oh, there it goes. Pops right open. Alright, there's our battery leads right there. We've got white and blue. Alright, these white and blue wires provide the power from the battery up to your switch, right up here. That's where we want to tie in, right there. So let's go ahead and do that. Be sure if you do this modification yourself, don't plug it in to your adapter, your power adapter, with batteries in it. That's probably not a good idea. So what I want to do here is I'm going to drill a hole so I can run a wire from here down under there and tie into that. Let's do that. I want to use a drill bit that's about the same diameter as my wire. And that's what I've got here. Okay, now that I've got my hole drilled right here, I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll just go ahead and feed my wire through there. Actually, before I do that, I need to strip those ends. Let's do that now. Okay, I just stripped those the same exact way as I did the outer shield. Let's go ahead and feed our wires through the hole that we just drilled, including the outer. That's a perfect fit. Alright. And what we want to do now is just go ahead and solder these in. We need to figure out which one is positive and which one's negative, which we can do that by looking over here on this side. This side will be negative, this side will be positive. So I can say that blue is positive. Alright, I want to take my red wire and solder it into the blue, and my black wire and solder it into the white. Be right back. For those of you that haven't seen before, I have this Radio Shack soldering iron. It runs off butane, so let's get it heating up. Get it good and hot, and we can solder our wires together. Be right back. Alright, once those screens in there start glowing orange like that, that's what you're looking for. You don't want the blue flame to come out. There we go, now it's gone out. You want just orange on the inside of that, and we'll let that heat up for a minute. It's that good and hot. Let's get our solder ready. I don't know if we'll need any extra solder, but just in case, I've got some here ready to go. What did I decide? Was blue was going to be the positive side. Let's see. Get this thing situated where I can work with it easier. Move the black out of the way, and let's tie into the tie right on into that. It's just hard to do with this thing moving around. Come on, baby. Get hot. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, after burning my fingers a couple times, I've actually done some pretty intricate. It ain't that great. Anyway, I got it soldered. I'm going to fold my wires around so everything closes together and move this out of the way so it doesn't get pinched by the whole thing. This is a good place for hot glue. To ensure that everything stays in place, I'm going to put some hot glue in there right now. Be back. I just happened to keep a stick of hot glue in my soldering kit just for insulating wires and different things like that. So I'll just heat the hot glue up with a lighter. No need to go get a glue gun, just for a little bit like that. Stick that down in there. Once that dries, that'll secure that wire into place so it don't pull out. So it won't, won't come out too easy. If somebody pulls on it, it says, nope, I'm glued. Alright, let's let that dry. We'll be back in a minute. It's snapped back together. And let's go ahead and put the batteries in it. and see, ensure that we still have a good connection. All right, we do. Let's move on to the next step, which is going to be getting this to come through the case. Now, I've looked at this case and I decided that I can pop an insert out right here. Okay, see how that's made? There's two pieces of plastic here. One's white and one's black. What I want to do is I'm going to take a black magic marker and I'm going to draw that case. That goes down like that, and that's why I decided to put my wire through right there. I'm going to draw right there on that with a black marker where that goes together. Now I'm going to pop that off. I'm going to separate the white part from the black part, and I'm going to cut that out in order to fit this through it. I'll be right back. Okay, that just unsnapped. Now, what I want to do is probably just remove that whole corner. Let's see if that's big enough to go through there. Not quite. We're going to have to do some trimming. That's okay. That's okay. We'll do some trimming and we'll get this to fit through here really nicely. And actually, I'm not even sure if it needs trimming, but I'll be right back. I'm going to get this wire to go through the top part of the case, and yeah, okay, I got it. Now what I'm going to do is what I've decided to do, instead of mounting this flush so it just sticks out right there, I want to leave this wire just dangling. That way none of this gets in the way of adding batteries at any later time. Oh, snap that on. Okay, there we go. So that's what it's together, folks. I'm going to go ahead and put my screws back in and be done with this part, this half. All right, that half of the job is complete. This is wired and has a plug on it now that I can you wonder why I chose USB. It's because I looked around the house and I had, that's what I had. I had a male and a female on USB. I don't want to leave this plugged in all the time. I want to be able to unplug it and take this and stick it in the drawer. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the other end of my USB and I'm going to splice it into this. All right, I'm going to cut this off and hook the other end of my USB onto the adapter. Folks, do this part, make sure that your adapter is unplugged, and I don't want to cut it off right there at that. Okay, I want to leave some of this for a future project maybe. So I'll come up to here about right there. I'll leave about 10 inches and cut it off right there. All right. Excuse me. Now I want to separate these two wires and strip them just the way I did the other stuff. I'm going to heat it up with a damn lighter. Pull it apart, heat it up with a lighter, pull it off. Alright, now I got two wires. Now I'm going to plug it in. Alright, I need to see which is positive and which one is negative, and I'm going to do that with my multimeter. Just turn it on to the right setting for DC, and as you can see, I'll touch one to one side and one to the other, and we get a negative. Okay, so that means I have it hooked up backwards. So do the other way, hook it up the other way, and I get a positive. So the lead that I'm touching the red to is going to be my positive wire. Alright, so what I want to do with my negative wire is just put a black mark on it so I'll know for later whenever I get ready to solder the other stuff together. I'll just put a black mark on there like that with a marker. Alright, this is ready to go. This is ready. Throw that down. Unplug it first. Throw it down. turn your multimeter off. You're done with it for a minute. And get your USB, your other end of your USB that you're going to use, and go ahead and cut it off and strip it down to your red and your black wire, just like you did these that went inside of your Toucan. I'll be right back once I get that done. Okay, now that we've got both ends of the wires prepared or prepped, we want to go ahead and just take our black and wrap that together. Prepare it for soldering. Okay, that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to solder. Put some solder on that right there and keep it together. I'll be right back. This time, seeing as I'm not soldering in a tight area where there are other components that could be melted or affected by this type of soldering, I'm going to go ahead and use the torch attachment that comes with the soldering gun. And let's just zoom in on the solder where we're going to go to work at. And I'll just heat that up and just touch that solder to it just like that. That is soldered together. Alright, and we'll repeat that process with the red wire, and I'll be right back. May I suggest at this point that you get yourself a piece of shrink tubing. If you want to do this job right, you should put your shrink tubing on here first before you solder these wires together, and it'll look professional. It won't look professional, but it'll look more better, it'll be more better than what I'm going to do, because I'm just going to wrap some damn electrical tape around it to insulate it. So I'll be right back. Take my hot glue again, and I'm going to insulate these spots that I just soldered. Put insulation, put some just hot glue around it. We'll insulate it and give it a protective coating. And if they touch together, it ain't gonna matter. So use your hot glue. Just heat up your hot glue with a lighter and spread that hot glue on your exposed wire. Spread it around real good. Do the hokey pokey again. You turn yourself about. Let it dry. Let it get hardened up for a minute. Harden that stuff up. Alright, be right back. Folks, before I tape this connection up with electrical tape, I want to go ahead and test it out and make sure it works. She works. Alright, let's tape this up and go try it on a can. Okay, folks, I'm going to try it on here. I've jacked the voltage up a little bit. Let's give her a try. Wrapping my cord up. Of course, I knew that was going to happen, folks, but it works. It works beautifully. Can you see that? That's how you modify your battery-powered junk to make it run off of electricity. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget to turn your ceiling fan back on. Folks, I just now thought that maybe I'm not going to try it because I don't have another empty can and I don't want to open a new can right now. But next time I use it, I'm going to try to push the button on the Toucan and hold it in place and see if the can under it will turn. That way it doesn't get the cord all wrapped up. I can, you know, try. I'm going to try to hold it. I'm going to try that. You can try that too. Bye.